So we're here for the James Mason video and about his life, and I find myself in Santa Cruz in a very interesting situation with people I get introduced to. I have no idea who you are. What's your name?
My name is Richard Atkinson. I'm a fourth-generation Santa Cruz guy.
That means in the fourth generation your family has been living here.
Yes, yes.
And you just said your father is German and your mother is...
My father was German, yes. He's a cloud guy now, unfortunately, but my mother is a Spaniard and she's thriving in Scotts Valley and doing fine.
And when you say Spaniard, she's from Spain or she's...
My grandparents were from Spain, and when they came to the United States, they came into Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is where she started her little life. Yes.
And do you know where your father comes from in Germany?
I don't. Sadly, I'm a late bloomer when it comes to finding out the gene tree. So.
Okay. Because I'm German and I live in Spain, so
I hear it.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Is it that bad?
Awesome.
Okay. So I would like to know, how did you meet James?
I met James through an association with Barrios Unidos, who happens to, or the founder, Nane Alejandrez, happens to be the founder of it, and James is one of his friends. So the opportunity to meet him came through James coming to a venue similar to this.
How would you translate Barrios Unidos in English?
Neighborhoods United.
Neighborhoods United.
Yes.
And what's the purpose of Neighborhoods United?
Its relevance for myself, speaking solely for myself, I would say that it's an opportunity to look at your life and reflect with examples in front of you, which most people don't get. So you get to have an environment at Barrios Unidos where you have people with a variety of personalities and a variety of different experiences, and so that opens up the door for you to be able to say, hey, I have a problem with this, can you help? And
what kind of problems are there in Barrios Unidos?
Well, none that I know of, but I know that they address a lot of problems with the community, and so
I
things.
mean, it's not just a neighborhood thing.
Oh no!
If you need help and
absolutely.
If you need support.
Yes.
What are the problems that might want to be solved? Why would you go there?
Some of the reasons why I know that people go there is homelessness, which so a direct association to that is hunger. So I believe they're in their fourth year now of doing a food bank, a coalition between them and Trader Joe's. So they get to feed the community through that service. And in addition to that, they have another structured community effort where they're dealing with folks like me, who is maybe lesser of a man, making wrong choices when in my youth. They give you the opportunity to, again, rely on experience and say, I can trust you and you can trust me. And that's a big thing for the prison population, because those folks come out of that environment not trusting anyone. And so that's a very important tool to have in the community. And I think that's why Nane and his staff in Barrios Unidos is an absolute value and an asset to our community because of that in particular problem alone.
How many people work in Barrios Unidos on a freelancer level, not getting paid?
I know that there's probably about 10 to 12 associated people that are there that work there and volunteer and make it in as much as they can, like myself. So and then it's a combination of people throughout the year who come in and utilize their efforts, and they give freely. So there's always a need. That's for sure.
So I'm very curious. This is why I'm asking all these questions. What happened to you in your youth? What went wrong?
I have 5 children, so I'm going to summarize it. It was choices. It's just, I'm a firm believer in you're responsible for your choices, and when that toll has to be paid, you have to look at it like a man and deal with it. And so for me, instead of pursuing things that would have rewarded me as a young man, I did things that took away my freedoms and took away the things that I was aspiring to get back to, which was being a loving kid trying to live with his family. And so drugs becomes relevant. With my age, cocaine and heroin and all methamphetamines were very prevalent in this little town during the 80s. So that was something that you end up giving up things like your family because this love affair means more than that one.
I mean, I heard about drug addiction as in cocaine or heroin or meth. So you did all of it.
Oh yeah. Oh, sure.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, I didn't discriminate.
I went dancing with everything.
You know, that's what dancers do.
Yeah.
And so it was tough for a moment when I realized that I was leaving my wife and my son and my work ethic and my morals behind for this affair. So if I sound facetious when I'm talking about it, it's because it was such an ugly time.
Did they forgive you?
You know, it took a long time.
But they did.
They did, yes, because I earned it.
And your children?
I only had one then,
Yeah.
and he's 35 now, and he forgave me. We still have those scars, and we live with them every day. But
Did he ever try drugs?
I think he's more of a weed guy and a smoker. And if he did do them, he didn't do them long because he raises his children, and he's a hardworking guy raising his family. So.
What was your job by that time?
My job was coming out of the youth authority, thinking that I was a man. So my job literally was to get me a wife and have a child and start this life of manhood. And it was at that time that I realized that there was more to the job than I thought. So I was working in construction and stuff like that as a young man. But my whole ambition, my whole life since I was 10 years old, I told my sister that I knew that I wanted to be a dad and I wanted to be a good husband. So that's all I've ever aspired to be, really. And so singing is in my life now. But
I never heard that somebody with 10 years would say, I want to be a good husband.
yeah, my sister
crazy.
Rose, she still lives here in Santa Cruz.
This is crazy. So when did you start singing?
I have always been a singer. Our family's pretty musically inclined, but you give up a lot of things when you raise a family. So my last two children of 5 are 12 and 16. Pretty independent guys. So Nani gave me an opportunity to get back into some music. And our community has been very receptive, and all of his friends and folks are helping out. And so it seems to be a lot of fun, this new trade of mine.
So are you the band leader of the community band called Barrio Sonido?
No, I am really the least of the members. There's a lot of incredible musicians and artists that go through the doors of Barrio Unidos. I'm feeling very fortunate for the opportunity to have these folks let me grab onto their coattails and take this ride with them. So I'm very pleased. This was all prison. Before this beautiful castle and dragon were swastikas and hatred of other people, in just ignorance. So again, we make choices to cover up stuff because we grow through it and from it. And
were you a gang member?
no, I was just with a group of men that really felt that we could just represent ourselves, and so if something did occur, you represented yourself the way a warrior should, and that's the life of ignorance when you're in that life. So yeah.
Now talking about James, do you remember the year you met him?
You know, I met James recently in 2018, and again it was at a banquet, and come to find out that he loved country music. So I go, well, hey, I'll be your huckleberry, man. I'll sing for you at home or wherever you're at. And then again, opportunity presented itself. Who would have known that he leads a radio station over at Stanford University.
Did he play
and
your songs?
He has several of them, and I believe he played one of them, and so he wants to interview me there, I guess, and have me do something there. And so whatever he plays, just know I'm grateful.
So if I would ask, but I keep saying if I would ask you, and then I ask, so I'm going to ask immediately.
Absolutely.
If you need to describe James to a third person, how would you describe him?
I would say James has a presence that you can't ignore. He's the type of man that you cannot walk by without looking at him because his presence demands that. And I don't know too much of him on a personal level, but I certainly look forward to knowing more of him. He's just had that kind of impact on me. Kind of a profound impact because I've always judged men on what they were and who they were. So this guy sitting down in a park had a pretty big impact on me. So that's just how I would describe him, as that.
You know how old he is?
A couple years older than me.
He's 89.
That's incredible. I did not know that. That's incredible. It's incredible.
And he just founded another company. I was like, what? 89? Okay. That gives hope. I mean, that gives everybody that is old hope.
Well, I agree. My grandfather, who passed away when he was 99, said just keep moving. And he was in the Army, and he drank anything he wanted, ate whatever he wanted, and lived life happy every day. So that's the template I follow. It's not a half battle.
I can't wait to hear you singing later.
I can't wait to sing for you. It's going to be a pleasure.
Can I take a picture?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you.